All right. The time is 12:25 right now. Started early because I got home early. And I'm just looking forward to this new chapter. I'm just looking forward to this new chapter for One Piece. So let's just go ahead. I'm just excited. Let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another One Piece chapter reaction and review. We are in the very first chapter of One Piece for the month of November in the year 2023. Should be interesting to see what Oda starts us off in for this month, because last we left out, and no break. Yeah, I noticed that it says we got 7 days until the next chapter, so that means we're getting another one next week. We were left out on quite possibly one of the... a very big chapter, because it showcased the Rock's crew, save for Rox himself. We find out we see Shiki the Golden Lion, Silver Axe, and Wang Jie, along with Captain John, and Gloriosa, Granny Nyon, who we come to find out was a part of Rox as well. And we see that the events of the Rox pirates getting to God Valley was because Ginny, one of the slaves along Emporio Ivankov, got the information out. We found out, we just literally find out a whole bunch of things about One Piece in last week's chapter. So now we get to see what happens in chapter 1097. We are literally 3 chapters away from reaching 1,100 chapters of One Piece. So let's begin with chapter 1097, Ginny. And we have reader request, Bartholomew Kuma catching salmon in the river by Takashi. And it shows Kuma a lot older now, with, I want to say, Ginny, who's preparing to cook the fish that he catches. And the thing about it is, he's trying to catch fish the way a bear does, but unfortunately, with the Niku Niku no Mi, the pawpaw fruit, any fish he tries to hit gets sent flying in another direction because of the abilities of the pawpaw fruit in this reader request. But I want to say that this very shapely older woman who's in this, who's preparing to grill some stuff, appears to have the same hairstyle as Ginny, so this must be an older Ginny with Kuma. But let's begin! 8 years after the God Valley incident, 30 years ago.
Kumachi, I need your help! I've been coming here since your father's generation. It was such a shock when he up and vanished.
Sorbet Kingdom, South Blue.
But I'm so glad to see his son growing into such a great pastor.
Your boy is a pastor? Pastor Kuma. Pastor Kuma! What do you mean? Like, what do you mean, Pastor Kuma? Yo, his Bible is not for show. Kuma's a holy man! Ah! Who was once in prison in the Holy Land! Ah! What you mean, Pastor Kuma?
But I'm so glad to see his son growing into such a great pastor. I'm sure your parents are happy wherever they are now.
Pastor Kuma. Pastor at 17. Pastor Bartholomew Kuma, age 17, and he's using his powers to push out the pain.
It's nothing but old folks in this poor kingdom. Ah, that's so much better now. Thanks, my boy.
As Kuma's using his powers to push out the pain of the elderly. I'm back! I'm next! My back is killing me!
Oh, what a blessing it is! The miracle hands!
But couldn't you extend hours to the weekdays, too?
Absolutely not! Only on Sunday!
Yep, and this woman that we saw on the cover page request is Ginny, who has grown into quite the mature-looking lady.
You're asking a lot for people who aren't paying us any money. Behave, you greedy old beggars! Oh no! It's Ginny the cheapskate! Shut up! This ain't a campground for a hospital!
So pretty, but so foul-mouthed. From what I hear, the men in town can't stop vying for her affection.
Stop changing the subject!
Ginny, age 21, because you know Ginny is 4 years older than Kuma.
But then again, she's already got Kumachi. The sight of Kumachi's face makes me feel at ease.
That's so sweet of you.
They act this way because you spoil them, Kumachi. I'd give you as much money as I could, Kumachi, but it was already hard enough just to get by while paying the heavenly tribute. And now we've got this new king, don't we? They say that King Bekuri is a cruel man with a heart of stone. If we get sick, we can't pay our share of the heavenly tribute.
And then he'll throw us in jail.
It's a travesty, I tell you. The last geezer they tossed in a cell starved to death, I hear. The last geezer they tossed in a cell starved to death, I hear. Starved! He won't even pay to feed the prisoners. Stupid skinflint king. I knew he was bad. The way he bows and scrapes to the celestial dragons.
We have to be healthy or it's a death sentence. And then Kuma speaks up. Well, I can help by removing any light illness or pain you're feeling. Come every Sunday. And then Kuma waves them off. Kuma waves them away at the end of the day and night falls. And then we see the big old pain bubble. Yo. So you mean that, a big old pain bubble just in the church. And then he just breathes out. And then, what he did to Zoro, he first did to himself. The pain bubble that we saw back in Thriller Bark, well, later on in Thriller Bark, was not the first time Kuma has tried that or made it happen. He's been taking all the pain from these elderly people, conjoining it into one big paw-shaped bubble, and then willingly goes into it. So, wow, when he challenged Zoro to take in the pain of his captain, Kuma knows what it feels like because he's done it on apparently he's done it on a regular basis. But he sticks his hands into it and he immediately feels the pain of every single elderly person that came there that one Sunday. And he just screams out in pain. Ah! And then Ginny is just sitting off to the side, listening to him scream in pain as he's taking on this pain of every single person that came in that Sunday. And it just shows Kuma bloodied and beaten, laying on the ground. And Ginny, with tears in her eyes, is taking care of Kuma.
Every week you do this, and they have no idea how much you suffer for them.
This man does this every week. Zoro only did it for what Luffy went through that one singular night. Kuma's been doing this for weeks. Every week. Every week? For how long? This man has been taking in the pain of every single individual, and he's been doing it every week for how many days? For how many months? How many years? And at the end of the day, people are wondering, what happened, Kuma? Nothing happened at all. My respect for Kuma has just gone to a whole nother level. We're only on pages 4 and 5.
Every week you do this, and they have no idea how much you suffer for them.
There's no other choice. That massive pain and suffering won't disappear until someone accepts it. So, wow. So when he pushes that pain out, it just stays there. It doesn't just dissipate. It has to go somewhere, or it'll just be there. So he's just been taking it upon himself to accept that pain. Wow. Kuma, you a real one. There's no other choice. That massive pain and suffering won't disappear until someone accepts it. If left untouched, it makes its way back to... So that's how it works. So unless someone willingly takes in that pain, it will make its way back to that person. Wow. So now my question is, how did Kuma's memories exist for that long in that one area? Unless Vegapunk figured out a way to keep it contained. Wow, okay. If left untouched, it makes its way back to the original person. And Kuma's being tended to, bloodied nose, he's got an ice bag on his head. But more than the pain, I feel delighted to see their happiness. I'm sorry I put you through this anguish. I'll toughen up and be stronger.
That's not the issue.
They gave us some food, didn't they? Let's eat.
Yay, food!
And it shows Kuma and Ginny. Just eating the food. 25 years ago, Kuma at age 22.
Let's get married, Kumaji.
What? No!
Why not? Marry me, darn it! You know you love me. I'll make you happy.
I'm sure you would, but... It's me! I'm the one who has Buccaneer blood, but my wife does not! Let her and my son go free! Oh... He doesn't want to be with Ginny because he doesn't want the same situation where he lost both his father and mother to happen to him. And his... Yo! He doesn't want to get married to Ginny because of what happened with his father. He doesn't want to put Ginny through that pain. I'm sure you would, but I don't want to bring you misery. Look, another article about the freedom fighters. They've caused protests in several countries, and now they're wanted by the authorities. Dragon. He's so cool. He must be someone's hero, I bet. One day, I want to go out to sea and use my life to help others too. And then it gets people who are calling saying, "Are you in there?
It's the lovely Ginny!
We got a huge haul today. Please take some fish." And it looks like some... it looks like some male suitors who are still trying to vie for Ginny's attention even after all these years. Oh, thank you, Gyogyo. Ow. As Ginny throws an entire wash bucket at him.
Dummy.
Because apparently Ginny likes Kuma and not these other dudes, but Kuma is oblivious to her affections. 22 years ago, disaster struck. Give your prisoners back! And this is an older Kuma.
Help us, Kumaji!
You dare defy the royal army? Who is this monstrous lug? Royal City, Sorbet Kingdom, Kuma at age 25. I'm a pastor from a church in the south. Well, father, I'm sure you've heard that the laws have changed. Now we're free to do what we want with people from the south. You're turning them into slaves? This is an unforgivable sin! As he pushes, and mind you, I think he's holding his Bible back then still. Like, I think he's holding either or that, or he just has his hands clenched. He says, "This is an unforgivable sin!" And he pushes this gigantic bubble onto the army. This is rebellion! Your Majesty, I must admit that this policy is going over poorly with the people of the realm. Don't worry. They will soon be led astray by labels and look down their noses at the south. Starting today, only the north part of the island is the actual Sorbet Kingdom. The world government determines the amount of heavenly tribute owed by the number of citizens. In other words, the south, with all of its old people who cannot pay their tribute, should be cut loose. In doing so, the country will be prosperous and balanced. And it just shows the wow. Sorbet Kingdom, capital and royal city. They're really treating it like the Goa Kingdom and Great Terminal. Literally, the lower half of the island is Great Terminal, with Kuma's church and the elderly village being on the lower half, called the Lawless area. But the upper half is the Sorbet Kingdom, not just the whole island. And it just shows Kuma, Ginny, and some other people in prison. And this is also when Kuma started to wear his bear hat that we know him to be wearing all these years. Why are you in here too?
We were clamoring for them to let you go.
And they beat us to a pulp. And the people who are with Ginny and Kuma are just laughing because they wanted Kuma to be freed. Ginny, I'm afraid our land is turning into a place of the haves and the have-nots.
King Beroki is just...
Bekori, not Beroki.
King Bekari is just a tool of the celestial dragons. This whole plan came down from someone above him. If we want to fight back, we have to take on the whole world government.
And then there's an explosion out in town.
Ah! Who are you people? Ah! Run, your majesty! You won't escape, you sad imitation of a celestial dragon!
He makes me boil with anger.
The king's given in! The enslavement policy is no more! I'm so glad I didn't want to live like that!
Through someone's interference, the Sorbet Kingdom avoided disaster.
This man you're infatuated with certainly is a wild one. You'll be so impressed,
This man you're infatuated with certainly is a wild one.
You'll be so impressed with him, dragon! Kuma! Ginny!
So you've been imprisoned, eh?
You've been imprisoned, eh? I'm here to get you out!
What? Is that...
What? Is that you, bro?
Eva? And is that...
Listen up, Kuma. If you're still the same man as that boy back then, come with us and change the world! And yo! Here we go! Hee-haw!
We get narration. The freedom fighters led protests in countries around the world after the arrival of the great era of piracy and the tragic fall of Ohara. The group took up arms, and with the addition of Kuma to the twin pillars of Dragon, and Ivankov, they underwent a transformation and became the revolutionary army the world would later know and fear.
So we have Ginny and we have Kuma, who's like dressed up and he's got like a coat over his shoulders. We have Dragon, we have Ivankov, and we have Ginny who's going, I'm going too! And we have Ivankov giving his trademark, but we're not done with this chapter.
We still lack a solid source of funds. The plan is to act like mercenaries and lend our strength to rebellious elements seeking to overthrow their kings. Those who wish to join will be taught how to use weapons and fight with them. One day, I want to raise this into a massive armed force scattered across the globe.
How did you learn to use those weapons, Dragon?
He was in the Navy. Dragon 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 was in the Navy. He was in the Navy. This is confirmation. Dragon was in the Navy. I spent some time in the Navy. Sadly, I couldn't find any of the justice they wear on their backs.
It's strange to be at odds when both the Navy and revolutionaries just want to help people.
Well, I'm with you all the way, Dragon. You won't regret it.
And then it cuts to Kuma returning to his church. Oh, is Kuma-chi back?
I'll return now and then. I want to make sure you're all right.
That's so sweet!
8 more years passed. 14 years ago in a certain country.
You look happy, Ginny. Oh, is it showing? Tomorrow's the big day. We're gonna meet up with Kumachi's group, remember? I can't wait!
Wow. Yo. You know what I just noticed? The clothes that Ginny is wearing is kind of reminiscent to the clothes that Juribani would wear. Striped clothes, like a tight shirt and a corset a little bit, and she's just eating. She's just steadily eating while she's taking care of her gun. Revolutionary Army, Captain of the Eastern Forces, Ginny.
Wish I were Captain Kuma.
Wish I were Captain Kuma. He gets the affection of everyone's crush.
What? Don't crush on me, you creeps! Grow up!
What a mouth. Revolutionary Army Headquarters, Baltigo. Dragon! Come in, Dragon! Ginny's been captured.
I'm sorry, the enemy caught us unawares!
Wow. Ooh. What is this kingdom? I'm trying to look at it to see if it looks familiar. It's not Dressrosa. It's in a certain country. But wow, that's the end of the chapter. We get told with Dragon Yeah, and since this is 8 more years after, because during this time when Dragon was with Ivankov and Kuma starting out, he didn't have the tattoo. But 8 years pass, and he now has a tattoo over his side of his face, and Ginny apparently has been captured. Whew. Wow, what a chapter! What a chapter. Wow. Okay, so first of all, Neil Johnson, member for 19 months. Thank you. Hello, peoples, to you too. Thank you, Neil. Ogata, hey everyone. Oda's such a troll, and it's only the first weeks of November. Stay strong. Great preempt to Wapple. That's our Kuma. So there's a side effect to Kuma's power? Yeah. Why don't he just put the pain in the king? He deserves it. If it was that easy without repercussions. So it's good to see you, Ozzy, Ogata, Kohagen, DJ. Zoro, nothing happened, has way more meaning now because Kuma we've been doing this every week like he suffers so much. Kuma's one of those characters that will end up being the best written character, and we aren't even done yet. We're not even done. The north part of Sorbet Kingdom is similar to High Valley in the Goa Kingdom. Exactly my thoughts. Exactly. Love the Ivankov voice. Thank you. So that king was forced to sign a Magna Carta? It appears so. Also, Bonnie's backstory is becoming more and more confusing. How is she not born yet? No mention of her yet. I wonder, what was Dragon's rank in the Navy? We have to see his and Garp's relationship sooner rather than later. The Rev's armies are lacking funds, so they become mercenaries like in Final Fantasy. Kind of similar. Now, this is weird. So either Bonnie is a clone of Ginny, or Ginny is Bonnie, and Kuma's possibly replaced her memories. I don't know about that. I don't know. Either Ginny is Bonnie's mom, I don't know, because if this is Jewelry Bonnie, I don't know. I'm not going to stick with it. I'm not going to stick with that. I don't know. Because I don't know if you can replace a person's memories with other memories using the Paw Paw fruit. You can take out memories because we know from what Jewelry Bonnie experienced. But I don't know. I can't. I don't know. Let me see. Now, this is weird. Either Bonnie is a clone of Ginny, or Ginny is Bonnie and Kuma possibly replaced her memories. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. Will we finally see Dragon do something? Please, Oda, please make it happen. We don't know. 14 years ago, Halster, it appears that FBI still needs to have a discussion with you. What if there is no Bonnie and Ginny still alive? Kuma removed her memories just like that is a wild theory, but let's just see how Oda takes this. Yeah, there's nothing but theories at this point. We got nothing but theories. Wow. Okay. First of all, can we just talk about this? Pastor Kuma. Pastor Kuma. He's not just the tyrant Bartholomew Kuma. We can now call him Pastor Kuma. We can call him Pastor now. That's something. That is something. Wow. Oh, that is so cool. Just taking care of his family's church after all these years. Ginny started to grow up, and he's been taking in people's pain every single week. Like, we thought Zoro had some serious durability, but your boy Kuma's been taking in people's pain every week since he became a pastor, and like, we don't even know how long he's been doing that, but he has apparently been doing it for years, because him and Ginny are much older on in life. Like, he was just a child when he got back to the Sorbet Kingdom. And this is 8 years after that fact. So, if he's been doing this 8 years, for 8 years, every single week, every Sunday, if you will, every single week, this man has been taking in more pain than Zoro has, obviously his entire life. And every other thing leading up to it. Wow. Kuma is a real one. Taking in everyone's pain, constantly screaming out loud because of how painful it is, but he does it because it makes everyone, because he does it because he's delighted to see the people's happiness. Then we get Jinny, who's got some feelings for Kuma, but Kuma's kind of oblivious to it. Then we find out that King Bekuri is pretty much turning it just like Goa, where only the people who can pay for the heavenly tributes are treated as like citizens, and everyone else is treated as lawless, and therefore anyone can do whatever they want with the citizens who have been cut off from the rest of the Sorbet Kingdom. Kuma just cuts loose. He gets imprisoned. Then the revolutionaries show up with Dragon. Well, the freedom fighters show up with Dragon and Ivankov, who instantly recognizes Kuma. And, well, they all recognize each other. And at that point, Kuma just goes with Dragon because he calls Dragon a hero. He was already inspired. So to join Dragon, it's like a dream come true for him. He gets to help as many people as he can, literally just like Nika. So he's already with them. But now we got Jinny and Kuma who are much older, and Jinny has apparently been captured at some sort of location. We don't know what, but it'll be interesting to see the revolutionaries go and rescue Jinny and see how things go from there. And hopefully we see a flashback of Dragon kicking Akainu's butt before leaving the Navy because of his sick brand of justice. The fact that Dragon, this is just a confirmation that Dragon was in the Navy. That was actually one of the long-standing theories, like, oh, was Dragon part of the Navy at some point? I've seen that theory before, but to see it just flat out confirmed that Dragon was in the Navy once, yet couldn't find the justice that they talk so much about, because there was no justice being a part of a Navy, a military branch that had absolute justice as part of its MO to certain individuals. Now, I wonder, at this point, are there admirals? Because we know of the admirals from beforehand, Kizuru, Akainu, and Aokiji at the time. We know about them, but at this point, are there admirals before Kizuru, Akainu, and Kuzan? Because at some point, they're vice admirals, but are there any admirals above them? There's a lot of questions that I got here, and I don't know if it's going to be all answered in next week's chapter, but this just puts a smile on my face because it's centering on Kuma's life, and it also will center in on Dragon's life as well because, like, he's a part of Kuma's life. I think Dragon was just a vice admiral or higher rank in Marine, then he leaves because he saw what happened to God Valley incident. We have no idea of knowing. Let me see. And what was it? Unrelated. Have I seen the final episode of Attack on Titan yet? Not yet. Wasn't able to read the final chapters of Attack on Titan, so I'm watching the final episodes being shown on Toonami. And no break. Sengoku and possibly Zephyr. See, Zephyr pops up as an individual in One Piece Film Z, but he's technically not canon. But only if Oda chooses to make him canon. So we gotta wait. That's all we got. We gotta wait. We're gonna get some big things in chapter 1100. Oda likes his big numbers. He does, but I think we should temper expectations just in case it's a regular chapter. You never know. Oda could just blow our minds with chapter 1100, but we should just, for the sake of safety of our own mentalities, we should probably just temper our expectations just in case. I'm just saying. But overall, I enjoyed this chapter. A much older Kuma showing why he's going up the ladder in terms of my favorite characters of this series. Him interacting with the freedom fighters who would then later be known as the revolutionaries. There's so many questions about how Jinny fits more into Kuma's life, whether and where Bonnie fits into Kuma's life. There's a lot of questions here. That have gone unanswered. So we're just going to have to wait. And the fact that we're not going on break means that we get to find out next week. Let me not keep you here any longer than I already have. I could keep talking about it, but I'm a wait until the next chapter. Yeah, I'm a wait. True, Oda has gassed us before. Yeah, he has gassed us before. So we should temper our expectations. As great as these chapters have been, we should go in there with a level amount of hype with not too many expectations of it just going to be completely mind-blowing. We should just go in there with a level amount of hype, so that way if something truly magnanimous happens, then it truly blows our minds, and we don't overhype it just because it's chapter 1100, because that seems more practical, if you will. My expectation is Water Luffy type of hype for 1100. Oh, so like Water Luffy from Alabasta. And it's like, oh, so that. We'll have to see. We'll just have to see. Overall, I did enjoy this chapter, and I'm looking forward to the next one. But now it's time for my final reaction for today, because we have no My Hero. When is the next live for gaming? It will be tomorrow. On Monday, we're going to continue with RoboCop and can just keep pressing forward with the game. I'm just going to be honest with you. November is going to be kind of an empty month for me in terms of games, because there frankly isn't really anything that interests me that's coming out in November that I would want to play. And that includes the new Avatar Frontiers of Pandora game. That just really doesn't interest me, because the whole Far Cry formula really doesn't resonate with me, if that makes sense. But we'll see how things go. I may do some other things other than gaming, but yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. I'll keep you all updated as we go. But I'm done with this chapter. Time to move on to Jujutsu Kaisen. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. Hopefully we get some Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League news this month as well, because time is winding up and we need to see more. Because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.